Hey, what's going on, guys? This is George from Team Stackers, and today I'm here to show you guys my Fluffal deck. I managed to pick this up this weekend, and I've been doing a lot of testing online, and this is the build that I will be using in the next couple of weeks until I decide whether to build either Cosmo or Magispectors. But yeah, this is going to be the deck that I'm going to be using. It's a very fun deck with the new support. With Fluffal Wings and Sabretooth, the deck has really, especially with Wings, it's really sped up. There's been a lot, there's a lot of draw power now in the deck, so it's a very good deck, very fun. It's a very fun deck, so let's get started. So my main deck is 40 cards, as they always are. I will never run upstarts in my deck, so yeah. So for the monsters, I play 3 Fluffal Dog. Fluffal Dog is basically, he's the searcher of the deck, so you need to run him at 3. He gets you any Fluffal monster you need or any Edgem Sabers you need, so you need to run 3 of him. Next is the 3 copies of Fluffal Mouse. Fluffal Mouse is really cool because when you summon him, you get to summon 2 more from the deck, and if you need more materials for say Wolf or any of the other monsters you have, he can be all the materials you need. So that's why I have him in the deck, and you can also make a wall with him, putting them all in defense mode. So it's a very, very good card. Next, I play the 2 copies of Fluffal Bear. He's also a very good card as well. He searches out Toy Vendor, places it face down in the field, and you can also, if you normal summon it, you contribute it and retrieve a polymerization from your graveyard. So it's pretty cool, but you can only use 1 effect per turn. One of the effects per turn. So it's very good. I felt like 3 was a little too cloggy. I only play him at 2s, but yeah. So 2 Bear. Next, for the new monster, I played 2 copies of Fluffal Wing. Fluffal Wing is what's made the deck a lot faster. When this is in the graveyard and you have another Fluffal monster and you control Toy Vendor, what you can do is banish this and another Fluffal monster and draw a card. And then you can pop your Toy Vendor, draw another card, and then you get a search with Toy Vendor. So you essentially get 3 cards in your hand. It's pretty insane. Sometimes I end up with 7, 8 cards in my hand, and sometimes that's what wins me the game because I draw what I need. So 2 copies of him. I feel like 3 would be a little too cloggy because sometimes your Toy Vendors, you pop them pretty early, and later on this would be just used as polymerization fodder. So just 2 of him. Next is 2 copies of Fluffal Sheep. This is used, I mostly use it to for the fusions, of course, and if I have Dog on the field, I can special summon the sheep. So when you control Fluffal, you can special summon this. If you control Dog, you can bounce back the Dog and summon either any Edgem from your hand or graveyard. So it's good to retrieve your Dog if you want it. If you don't want it on the field, or if you don't want to use it as a Frightful Fusion material. So that's why I have him in here. But it's good at 2. And then for the last of the Fluffal monsters, I run the 1 copy of Fluffal Owl. He's basically like Blazeman, searches out polymerization when normal summoned, and he has his own built-in effect to fuse monsters. But since I run 3 King of the Swamps, I feel he's not necessary to run at more than 1. Alright, moving on to the Edgem monsters. I run the 3 copies of Edgem Chain. He searches out any Frightful card when he's sent from the hand or field to the graveyard. And also, he's the one that you use to make sheep, I think. So you need 3 of him. You can't search him out with any of the Fluffal monsters, so you need to run 3 so you can see it as early as possible. So yeah, he's very good. Gets you Frightful Fusion if you fuse with it, and at that point you have your yourself up to 2 fusion summon monsters on the field. So it's pretty good. Next, I play the 2 copies of Edgem Sabers. I only play 2 because this card is searchable, and not only that, if it's in the graveyard, you can special summon it to the field by placing 1 card on top of your deck from the graveyard. So you only need to run 2. I mean, you don't need any more than that. So 2 of him. Next, I play, for the last of the monsters, 3 King of the Swamps. He's probably, I actually really like this card in the deck. Most of the Frightful monsters say they need at least 1 edge imp monster. So this can take the place of the edge imp, and then all you need is Fluffal monsters. And not only that, you can ditch it to search out polymerization, so they can't Valor it or anything like that. So it's very good. I really like having him in the deck. He always comes in handy. He's never dead in my hand unless I don't have a fusion, but I can get it with him. So he's always never dead in hand, so very good card. Alright, and that's it for the monsters. I run a total of 21 monsters. It's a pretty good lineup. I like it. So moving on to the spells, I run 3 copies of Polymerization. I've seen a lot of builds, they run maybe 1 or 2 copies, but I like to run 3 because I like getting to my polymerization as fast as I can. Even though it's searchable, I like getting to it as fast as I can, either by draws or by searching. So yeah, I run 3. I'm very happy with 3. So and then following the polymerization, I play the 3 copies of Frightful Fusion. Again, 3 is good. I tried it at 2. Well, actually, I tried it at 2, and it wasn't too bad. But I felt at 3, I saw it sooner, and I was able to make at least 2 Frightful monsters in 1 turn most of the time, because I would see this faster and have it on the field and make a Frightful monster out of it as well. So it's very good. It's basically Miracle Fusion for Fluffals, but yeah, it's good at 3. And then for the Toy Vendors, I played 3 copies of Toy Vendor. This is the card that, it's a very good card. You can ditch a Fluffal and draw. If it's a Fluffal, you can special summon it or keep it in your hand. And if it's not a Fluffal, it goes to the graveyard. So it's pretty good, especially when you have to, you can special summon any Fluffal if you draw it, any Fluffal from your hand, or any monster from your hand actually, if you draw a Fluffal with it. But that's why there's certain cards I want to replace in the deck because of the fact that if it's not a Fluffal, it's entered to the graveyard. So, but this and Fluffal Wings is what just makes the deck insane. Following that is 3 copies of Monster Removal, Regeki, and 2 Dark Holes. A lot of times this is basically an OTK deck, so you want to clear the board as fast as possible. You need to run 2 Regeki, 2 Dark Holes, and 1 Regeki. This is what I use in most of my. I actually use this in my Harpy Speedroid build as well. 1 Regeki and 2 Dark Holes to clear the field so I could go for game. Alright, and then I play the 2 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon. These are going to change in the future. This is going to be Galaxy Cyclone. Either 1 Galaxy Cyclone and 1 MST, or just 2 Galaxy Cyclones in general. Because sometimes when I use Toy Vendor, this gets sent to the graveyard. It has no more use to me. So I'd rather have Galaxy Cyclone at that point. So, but for now, I'm using 2 MSTs. And for the last of the spells, I play the 1 copy of Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion is really cool in the deck because there's a certain play you can make. Say, for example, you don't have Edgem Sabers or anything like that, but you have Fluffal monsters and the polymerization in your hand. What you can do is you can Instant Fusion into Frightful Sheep, polymerization him away with the other Fluffal monsters you have in your hand, and then you can make him, and then this will come back from the grave because of his effect. So it's a very good play. You end up with 2 monsters for the price of just basically one fusion, with only using a few fusion materials. So this card it's very good in the deck. I really been enjoying it. Been testing it out, and it really speeds up some of my plays, especially when I don't have edge monsters in my hand. So and I also run 1 copy of Norden just to go into rank 4s if I need them. So That's the 1 copy of Instant Fusion. And that is it for the spells. And then for the traps, I only run 4 traps. I run 1 copy of Vanities, 1 copy of Solemn Warning, the 1 copy of Bottomless, and 1 copy of Torrential Tribute. These are the only cards I run. They're pretty good. Some of these might come out. Maybe Bottomless and Torrential might come out for 2 Fusion Reserves or Storming Mirror Forces. And there's a couple of cards I wanted to try. I also wanted to try playing this, but this is most likely going to go in my side deck. So, but yeah, these are the traps for now. So it's a pretty good trap lineup, I feel. So moving on to the extra deck. Right now I'm missing a couple of cards. I don't have my Frightful Tigers, and I'm missing I can't find my Norden. So what I'm going to show you right now is only 12 cards, but when I get my Frightful Tigers, which are in the mail, when I get those and I find my Norden, I will make an updated video of the deck, and especially if I make changes to the main deck, I'll make an updated video. So for the extra deck, I play the 2 copies of Sabretooth. I love this card. I love the art on it. It looks like a crazed cat. But he's very cool because when you fusion summon him with 3 or more monsters, he basically becomes a BLs. He can't be destroyed by card effects or by battle, and then it also gains 400 attack. For all Frightful monsters gain 400 attack. And then when it's fusion summoned, if you fuse them with, because you have to have a Frightful monster to fuse into him, but if you fuse him with any Frightful monster that was sent to the graveyard, or actually if you have any Frightful monster in the graveyard, if this is fusion summoned, its effect is to special summon one of those Frightful monsters back onto the field. So it's a really good card. It's very good with Sheep, because you can have him and Sheep on the field, or any other fusion monster you need. So it's pretty cool. Next, I play the 2 copies of Sheep. Sheep is basically Armades of the deck. A lot of people have a hard time getting over him because of the fact that whenever you destroy him by card effects or battle, it goes to the graveyard and it comes back as a 2800 body. And say you control a Tiger, he basically becomes a 3200 Armades. So it's pretty cool. So 2 Sheep. Then I play the 2 copies of Wolf. Wolf is one of the OTKers in the deck. You can fuse as many materials as you need, and whatever fusion materials you used for him, he can attack that many times. So you can use up to, I mean, you're not going to need more than 4, but if you fuse like 20 materials to make him, he can attack 20 times. So he's pretty cool. And of course, if you have, say, Tiger or Sabretooth, he's going to be a 2800 body that can just attack a million times. So he's pretty cool. And then I run the 2 copies of Leo. I might cut these for one of the Tigers, but I'm not sure yet. I really like having this card, as you can pop monsters on the field and inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack, and still attack monsters. So it's a pretty cool card. I like it. But 2 copies of him. Then I have, these are my proxied, these are my Tigers. I run 2 copies of Frightful Tiger. Like I said, they're in the mail, so they'll be here sometime this week. But 2 copies of Tiger. Tiger is really good because it can pop cards on the field. It'll pop as many cards as you used fusion materials for it. So, and I think for every Frightful or Fluffal you control, I think each monster gains 200 attack or something to that degree. So it's a pretty cool card. It's kind of what makes the deck now, because it can pop a bunch of cards on the field and then you can make Wolf and go for OTK. It's pretty cool. So I run 2 copies of him, and like I said, I might cut the Frightful Leo to run in 1 more Tiger. So, but for now, 2 copies. And then for the last 2 Frightful monsters, I play the Bear and the Chimera. Chimera I barely go into. It requires 3 Frightful monsters, so but I don't want to waste the Frightful monsters I do have already on the field. I'd rather have the board presence than just one monster. So, and then of course Fight for Bear, because if I do add Fusion Reserve, you can search out Bear or Edgem Sabers as well, but I barely go into him because he's only a 2200 body, so he's just there because he's another Fright for monster that I can use. But yeah, so that's it for the Fright for monsters. And then for my last two monsters, it's Cast Out and the Abyss Dweller, and the third monster would be Norden if I can find it. So yeah, that is it, guys. This is a pretty fun deck. I have really enjoyed playing it. It's been loads of fun. Sometimes you end up with, it has so much draw power and search power that you end up with so many cards in your hand, so much card advantage, and a lot of the times the card advantage just gives you the OTK, or you can just do so much damage to your opponent that they can't recover from it. So I suggest you try this deck out. It's not that expensive to build. I mean, the main deck will run you maybe around $60-$70, and then the side deck is a little more expensive now due to the fact that Tiger went up to 25, but you can probably get it for around $100. So yeah, guys, thank you for checking this out. If you like the video and the profile, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time. Team Stackers out.